When I was in college, I loved to write movie analysis. My favorite movie was the 2001 A Space Odyssey. I have written and published a few of my entries in a couple of small-time film magazines, and I always saw it as a nice hobby and a great way to practice my skills since it fit well with my college major. I was quite devoted to this hobby and I spent a decent amount of time on it as well. I eventually made my own website revolving around it, and I really enjoyed it. I still have this website and I still have a few DVDs and have a number of articles and chapters on my website. The main reason people know me is because I've had a handful of semi-viral videos analyzing movies like The Thing and The Shining. Now, this is where the story gets a little creepy. I used to get hundreds of comments each and every day to my website and YouTube channel. I always try to read every comment and respond with a thorough answer as much as possible. I was still in college for only a few months, and I got a private message on YouTube from the username Green Ramen. Yeah, this kind of reminded me of the good days of YouTube when usernames didn't really make much sense, but anyhow, the first comment read, "Hello there. I've recently been viewing your videos and I really enjoy them. I would love to discuss my different views on your topics. How about we meet at the local liquor bar and get to know each other?" The address was only a few blocks from the townhouse me and my friends bought during our sophomore year. I've always used a proxy since I bought this computer, and I never sent any personal information that could lead to my location. At first, I was pretty spooked by this, and after a few minutes, I came to the obvious conclusion that it was a prank by one of my friends. I mean, of course, why not? But I started to get more messages from this person, and it got pretty bad quickly. I opened a few and they were all spam, obviously stuffed full of viruses. I'm incredibly freaked out telling this. It's about 2 a.m. and all my friends are sleeping. While they are pranksters, I am nearly certain they wouldn't do something like this. Worried, I decided to wake them up. They all seemed to have no idea what was going on, and when I told them what was happening, none of them had a snicker or anything of that type. In fact, all of them seemed quite worried and actually thought I was pulling their leg. After showing them the flood of emails, they started to say, "Check your Snapchat." I was quite puzzled by this and knew no one besides my friends who would do something like this. When I opened the app, I had over 30 new messages sent from the person of the same name, Green Ramen. That wasn't the frightening part, though. All the photos were of the house where we were time-stamped only a few minutes ago. As my friends and I had looked at these pictures, we could tell that they kept getting closer and closer to the windows where we were. They then proceeded to show me sitting at my computer while I was looking through all the emails. All of our stomachs sank. Then the absolute worst photo came in. It was all in real time of us looking at the photos currently, with the caption, "Please open the door for me." We all scrambled out back to the driveway to get in my Prius. I slammed on the gas, which is incredibly anticlimactic for a Prius, to be honest, but one of my friends in the back seat started to phone the police. I was going about 60 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, speeding out into somewhat overcrowded highway. I got one final snapshot. It was a side photo of our car on the highway with the caption, "You can't escape me that easily." I told my friend that I would meet the police that would be at a diner a mile away in a public place. I turned my phone off and met them only a few minutes later. The police confiscated my phone and computer to try to trace the IP address. Both of them registered a cleverly hidden proxy. I never saw any trace of that person and moved out of my house after the incident. I hope he never comes back or messes with me again. That night was easily the scariest moment of my life. Snapchat is a fun little app where people can take selfies and send them to their friends. I use Snapchat pretty much every single day to send pictures of myself doing stupid things to my friends, and they would send pictures of themselves back. That was up until that one afternoon. I had just returned home after a long day at school. made even longer by my friend's absence due to his little brother's funeral. So I decided to recline on the sofa and procrastinate on my iPad for a while. As I usually did, my procrastination took the form of messing around on Snapchat. I had a few unopened snaps, several of them from my friend who had been absent that day. I opened them. Each of them was a selfie of him in his room after the funeral. He looked like shit. I guess he just wanted sympathy from the many girls he was looking to hook up with. So I sent him a picture of me with a message attached saying, "Chin up, man." It wasn't long until he replied. He just replied with a somber image of himself and a simple message saying, "Thanks." But something caught my eye for the briefest second. A pair of eyes, sunken and dead, peering out of his closet. I was a little shaken by this, as I could not be sure that what I saw was actually what I saw. I immediately replied, "Are you alright, man?" with a picture of me trying not to look freaked out. I waited anxiously for his reply. When I received a notification for a new Snapchat, I was slightly nervous about opening it. I was worried about what I'd see. I was worried about what was waiting for me. But curiosity got the best of me. I opened the message. Another picture of my friend and a simple message saying, "Yeah." At this point, my iPad froze. Leaving the message for my friend on the screen, I couldn't do anything. The home button didn't work, nor did the lock button. I was left with the image of my friend staring back at me. This gave me a chance to view the picture with more depth. After close inspection, I saw nothing out of order. No eyes in the closet, and in fact, his closet door was closed. I was about to hook up my iPad on my computer to see if I could unfreeze it, when I noticed that my closet door was open. It was a Saturday night and it was starting to get relatively late. I was bored out of my mind watching Netflix and I needed to find something to do. I had the brilliant idea of going on Omegle, and of course this led to a lot of disappointment. I was about to go find another distraction when I finally found a normal match on Omegle. It was a dark room with a cute-looking young woman sitting in front of her webcam. I figured it was fake and it was going to be a screamer or some sort of prank. After an awkward silence, I was about to click next when she said, "Hello?" Immediately following that was the text, "Hit me up on Snapchat. My username's Sasha247. I pulled out my phone and added her just for the heck of it. Right as I added her, she disconnected the call. I sent a snap saying, "What's up? I was just on Omegle," and proceeded to wait. It was around 1:30 in the morning now, and I didn't really hear anything back, so I just went back to watching Netflix. At 2 a.m., I finally got a reply, and it was her. It was a picture of her driving her car, followed by the text, "On my way." I simply responded with, "Be safe, LOL," and then I fell asleep. The next day, I woke to my phone, and what I discovered was pure horror. Opening one snap at a time, the first was of her just driving. A little weird, but I didn't think much of it. Then things started to get real. The next snap was of her driving, but it had her at a stoplight, and at the stoplight I noticed a Walmart next door to a gym. That very same Walmart and gym were just a few miles away from my house. At this point, I was really afraid and I wanted to get to the bottom of this, but at the same time, I didn't really know what to do. I opened another snap of her entering my neighborhood, accompanied with the text, "Get ready." The final snap that I received from her was a 10-second video of her filming my house. That was the last snap I received, and I really hope I don't receive any more. This all happened to me last night, and I've already notified the police. I really hope this is just some sort of practical joke and this person will leave me alone. I'll keep you guys updated if anything happens in the future, but I really hope I won't have to. I'm so scared right now, and my friends and I just don't know what to do. I've never felt so vulnerable before in my life. If you're unfamiliar with it, Snapchat is an app that people can download for free on their phones. The basic point of Snapchat is to share pictures and videos with your friends to let them know what's going on in your life. And with the new Snap Map feature, it's even easier to see what they're doing. I don't use Snapchat that much myself, but I do have it installed on my phone just to see what's going on with my friends, as well as to send the occasional snap to some of my close friends of what I'm eating or whatever. I'll also occasionally receive snaps from my friends as well. You know, just the typical Snapchat stuff. Anyways, it was just last week when I received some pretty weird Snapchats from an unknown sender. It was a Wednesday night, and I was in my room studying for a midterm I had that week. To give you the full context as to why these snaps weirded me out so much, I have to let you know a little bit about myself. I'm currently a college student in my junior year, and I live alone in an apartment close to campus. It's within walking distance of my school, which is nice, as I don't have to go through the trouble of finding parking or owning a car while dealing with my studies. The cost of living in my city is pretty low, and I value my privacy a lot and hate living with roommates. I did that in my freshman year of college, and I'll never do it again, so this is really why I choose to live alone. Many of my friends also either lived on campus or in apartments nearby, so I was never lacking for company. The apartment itself isn't very large. It's small, but cozy at the same time, and it has everything a college student living on his own could ask for. A kitchen, a bathroom, a living room, and 2 small but comfortable bedrooms. I'm a pretty big geek, so most of my apartment is filled with various superhero and video game merchandise that I've collected over the years. One piece of merch I was particularly proud of was my Superman figure that I had purchased from a comic book shop for only $30. It was a steal, and I've had it in my dresser in my room ever since. And basically, to sum things up, I'm a college student who lives alone in a pretty small apartment. It's simple as that. So back to the main topic at hand. Like I said, it was a Wednesday night and I was in my room studying when I received a notification on my phone. Opening it up, I realized that I had gotten 3 snaps on Snapchat. However, what was weird about these snaps were that they were from an unknown sender. On Snapchat, I mainly snap with 3 of my friends who were avid Snapchat users, and by now I had practically memorized what their usernames were. This username was entirely new to me, which made me pretty curious, honestly. I've heard stories about people who have gotten weird snaps from strangers before, but it had never happened to me until now. I should have just deleted them and blocked the unknown user right then and there, but curiosity got the better of me. I regret ever opening those snaps. Looking back, I probably should have taken a few screenshots of these apps for a form of evidence, but the idea never crossed my mind at the time. The first snap I received was strange, but nothing too out of the ordinary. It was a picture of a lawn of grass, but it was too close up to see where this lawn was. The second snap was where things started to get really strange. It was a video, and the entire screen was black, as if the person recording the snap was covering his camera with his hand. However, that really wasn't the weird part. The weird part was the weird whispering I heard. I don't know how to quite explain it, but it sounded like he was putting his mouth really close to the microphone and whispering in a convoluted, jumbled mess. The third snap sent chills down my spine. It was the snap of a door. But not just any door. It was the front door of the apartment complex that I live in. The one where everybody walks into on the way to their rooms. Whoever was sending me these snaps, he was in the nearby vicinity. After I was done viewing the snaps, I immediately sent a message to the person using Snapchat's messaging feature. I simply said, "Who are you?" A few seconds after sending the message, I could see that he had opened it. Whoever he was, he'd obviously been waiting for a response from me. I held my breath and waited a few seconds for this mysterious person to respond back. But they never did. After waiting for about 5 minutes, I simply closed the app and put my phone down. At the time, I remember I simply had no idea what to do. I looked out of my window and didn't see anything out of the ordinary or any weird figures standing out on the street below. Truth be told, at the time, my midterm was the main thing on my mind, so after closing everything down, I went back to studying. I didn't receive any more weird snaps from the mysterious sender, and the event eventually left my mind, as I was pretty busy from all the homework and studying I had for my midterm, so I didn't really have a lot of time to contemplate this whole situation. It wasn't until last night, Monday night, that I received more snaps. These ones were the ones that truly began to make me panic. I was reading my textbook for my English class when I suddenly received 2 notifications from Snapchat. I had received 2 snaps once again from the mysterious person that had snapped me a week ago. Again, looking back, I wish I would have taken screenshots for these, but at the time it didn't even cross my mind. I continue to kick myself about this even now. The first snap was eerily similar to the one with the whispering I had received last week. It was pretty much the same thing, except the whispering sounded a lot faster and more excited, I guess you could say. The second snap was one that truly frightened me. This snap made me realize that something was very, very wrong, and whoever was sending these snaps was a bigger threat than I originally anticipated. At first, when I looked at the snap, it took a few moments for me to really realize what I was looking at. It was a picture of a door frame with the person taking a snap pointing his phone at it from the darkness of the hallway. Light was streaming from the room that the door frame led to, and I could make out a few pieces of furniture, including a bed, a dresser, and a Superman figure on top of the dresser. That's when I realized I was looking at a picture of my own room. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up as I began to realize what was going on. I vaguely remembered that I tend to leave the door in my room open. I slowly turned around, half expecting someone to be standing in my doorway staring right at me. But there was no one there. I slowly rose from my chair and began inching towards the doorway. Looking out into the rest of my apartment, I saw that there was no one there. Thank God. I spent the next hour or so searching my apartment for any signs of intrusion, but there was nothing. I suddenly felt my phone vibrate in my hand, which I had realized I had been holding on to the entire time. I had received another snap from the mysterious sender. It was a video again. With my fingers shaking, I opened the snap to yet another obscured video with the whispering in the background. This time, the whispering was very loud and filled my entire apartment with the noise. I didn't sleep at all that night. I sat on my bed, every light on in my apartment, and a kitchen knife in hand, with my phone in the other. But nothing outside of the ordinary occurred. If anyone has any advice on what I should do, please let me know. It's Tuesday now, and I haven't received another snap, and nothing out of the ordinary has happened since Monday. I have no idea how this person may have gotten my Snapchat, and if that last snap was really taken from inside my apartment, it means that he could potentially have a way into my home. I still can't figure out who this would possibly be, though. I keep the key to my apartment on me at all times, and the extra spare key is always in the desk where I keep it. I told one of my close friends about this, and he told me that I could live with him for a few days, just in case this person actually does return. But I just don't know. Again, any advice is welcome, and I just really want to get to the bottom of this.